Welcome back. Student Transportation has reported its fourth quarter earnings and its fiscal 2013 numbers. For a closer look, we're joined now by Denis Gallagher. He's chairman and CEO of the company, Student Transportation Incorporated. Denis, thank you for being here. Tell us about your company, first of all. You bus students to and from their schools. In what markets do you do that?
Well, Student Transportation is a North American company. We're a Canadian company. We operate primarily in the U.S., but also here in Ontario. We operate about 10,000 vehicles, take almost 1 million kids to school every day. So it's a very busy business for us.
How has it come to be that a Canadian-based company is most active in the United States?
Well, we actually listed in 2004 on the TSX through what used to be the income trust kind of structure, right. And that's how we got here. And literally, I started the company in 1997. So this was an opportunity for U.S. companies to get access to public markets, and Canada was a great market for us. And so we've been, we're North Americans. We kind of operate both in the U.S. and in Canada. The management team is half Canadian, half U.S.
Just before we actually came on air, you were telling us a little bit about how the contracts work and actually how that makes, you were saying you can't predict the weather, but you can actually predict what type of contracts you'll have really for the next quarter, essentially. Mm-hmm. You're fairly accurate in that.
Yeah, we are very accurate in that, and it's amazing because our contracts are based on 180 days during the school year. So we can literally predict how many days we're going to go to school. We just can't predict which month, or we can't predict severe weather. So what happened was I sat here literally in this seat last quarter, and where we had a bad third quarter, and I said, you know, geez, we're going to have a great fourth quarter, and everybody's going to say, you had a great fourth quarter, and say, no, we just had a crummy third quarter because of the weather. So, you know, we do always get our days back. It's just we have to go through the process. So we ended up with a great quarter, a phenomenal quarter, our highest quarter ever, a record quarter, and we had a great year.
So what happens through the summer with school buses?
Well, we end up using them in summer schools, and we do some camp work and things like that. But you know,
is the volume the same though?
No, nowhere near. We probably run about 20 to 25% of our fleet during the summer, but it is a year-round business. We're constantly recruiting new employees and getting vehicles ready, and so it's a full-time job.
How competitive is the industry? How many competitors do you have out here? I know during the break we established, you told me effectively that the company that the Toronto District School Board is served by a British company.
Yeah, the two largest in our industry are both Brits. And we're the third largest in the industry. There's about 4,000 mom and pops that are still in this industry, so it's still very fragmented. It's very consolidated on the top side, but very fragmented literally underneath. So it's very competitive.
And do any school boards own and run their own buses, or is it outsourced across the board?
This is, you know, in North America alone, it's about 66% of school districts still own and operate their own fleets. Okay. So the privatization side aspect is really there. In other words, we have access to the capital markets, we have access to very cheap debt, and that's where we've been able to grow from. So we've been growing about 15% a year by literally through some acquisitions. We announced 2 this morning also that we did, 2 small ones. But also with the privatization move, we're able to go into capital constrained school districts and municipalities who really need that capital of replacing new vehicles and maintaining drivers and service, and we can provide that for them and literally put money back into the classroom where we think it belongs.
Well, tell us about those acquisitions from this morning.
Well, the 2 acquisitions we announced, we literally took a year off in acquisitions. Fiscal 2013, we didn't acquire any companies. This past summer, literally our new fiscal year started July 1, and we acquired 2 small little what we call tuck-in kind of companies. And they're guys that I've known for 25 or 30 years, and they decided they wanted to retire, so we were able to pick them up at very good pricing.
One of your big costs, obviously, is fuel, but you have been making a shift to alternative fuels. I noticed a BMO analyst kind of liking that and seeing that ultimately help you with margins. Tell us how many of those you have and how that helps you financially.
Sure, Pam. We literally are probably the largest in the industry in alternative fuels. We made a switch on 1,000 of our vehicles, so 10% of our fleet is literally with LPG, liquid propane gas. And so we're getting literally $1.60 a gallon versus $3.60 a gallon for diesel, 60% less carbon monoxide. So around schools, around our communities, parents like that. In Canada, we're running almost 1,500 biofuel vehicles. So, you know, out of our fleet, literally about 25% is running on alternate fuels. It's the right thing to do, and it's also very cost savings for us.
I know kids learn a lot about the environment in school. They often push their parents to do things that don't idle the car, Dad, in front of the school or the park there. So that your move to more environmentally friendly fuels is it's good public relations. It's a good awareness, but it also delivers bottom line results. It's cheaper fuel.
It's a cheaper fuel. It's domestic right here in Canada and in the U.S. It's and you know our new plan of growing without going back to the market, of which we've done. We did our last capital raise in March of 2012. We grew 20% in 2012. We grew 15% in 2013. We've already got 11% booked for 2014. We haven't been back to the market. So we've learned. We've learned to come out of the income trust kind of market. We've learned not to go back to the market. We're a very high-paying dividend company. We got an 8.4% yield out there. We just yesterday paid our 104th consecutive monthly dividend.
Yes,
so, I mean, it's a great investment kind of tool. It's clean energy. So what I like to say is it's less pollution and less dilution. That's kind of our new strategy going forward.
How easy or difficult is it to find drivers? Have there not been bus driver shortages in recent years?
Well, bus drivers are difficult. You're right. They are difficult to find. We've got a very unique situation. We've got probably around less than 10% turnover in our driver force. So when folks come in, like we've got the grandmother, we've got the mother, and we've got the daughter now. So we're 65% women, 75% women managers. We like the moms actually behind the wheel. We think they're better with the kids on the bus, better from a discipline point of view. So we run this very much like a family business, and it's a family of companies. So you'll see us literally from Peterborough, you know, all the way, and you know, in Caledon and different all the Blue Mountain areas, actually everything very rural and suburban areas. But yeah, maintaining drivers is very important for us.
Do they work split shifts very quickly? Do they work? They make the morning run?
It's basically 7 to 9 in the morning, 2 to 4 in the afternoon. We have some field trips and athletic work. They work 180 days of the year and things like that. So yeah.
Fascinating story. Thanks, Dennis. It's Denis Gallagher. He's chairman and CEO of Student Transportation Incorporated.